Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hope everyone is well. This is part of the Real Golf series. I was faced with a particular shot at Dartmouth on the second hole. We're going to show you that shot and talk you through how we played it. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell so you get all the notifications and when a new video drops. Like, thumbs up to be good as well. And let's go and have a look at that shot.
That is below your feet.
That's not good, no. No.
There are some serious sloping mounds around this golf course, Bernie, and you found your first one on the second hole.
191 yards.
It's a 4-iron all day.
Yeah, it would have been a 5, but I haven't got a 5. So
you're going to have to manipulate a 4 then, aren't you?
Small targets.
I reckon that ball, by the time you set up, that ball's going to be a good foot below your feet.
Yeah. It's the wind here, that one, straight into it. Can't miss this left if I remember. It's a hedge on the left.
Yeah, there is out of bounds, looks like out of bounds hedge or something. It might not be out of bounds actually, it might just be a hedge. Another hole behind it.
I'm going to try and hit it at the bunker and hook it a little bit.
Okay.
Against the slope.
You're in charge.
Like that.
Oh Bernie, that is so good.
I'm going little, I think.
Right on line.
Pretty good.
That was a very good shot.
Take that off there.
Awesome shot.
Thanks.
Bit of hands and arms. Little hands and arms shot.
Yep. I just
that.
didn't want to allow it fading right, so I thought if I turn it,
really release it, like the play.
So it doesn't get much better than what you actually produced there, does it?
No, it's quite nice when you sort of have a plan and it all comes together. And on that particular occasion, it just all came together.
I mean, we talk about ball below our feet, ball above our feet, uphill, downhill lies, and they're generally, when they're explained, it's more of a subtle approach, isn't it? Like you've ended up on a decent position in the fairway, but you're on a slight downslope, or ball's slightly below your feet. But in that situation, it was an extreme, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was. It's the one I prefer. I would prefer a downhill lie rather than an uphill lie.
Yeah.
I just think personally, I find it easier to produce the result that you want from that lie.
I agree. And what do you think was the most important factor to getting that shot correct and the way you got it?
For me, it was to centre strike. So make sure I make good contact, ball first and out the middle of the bat.
And in order to get that, what did you need to make sure you got
basically, right? As I probably if you watch the video, it's been slightly explained, but I tried to keep my lower body very stable, tried to keep my balance.
Yeah.
And to square the club face rather than using my lower body, I tended to use hands and arms. And be a little bit more active upper body and very and not active lower down.
Okay, so we've talked about that, and that's kind of like, I suppose, some people may not understand what we're talking about when we talk about hands and arm shots, but it's literally a case of slowing the body down, using the arms to try and manage, try and control the situation, isn't it?
I mean, when you obviously swing a club, you've got a lot of movement lower down, so you're moving leg action, you're turning through to target.
Yeah.
But obviously if you're not using your legs as much, you're going to have to try and square that club face rather than actually turning through.
Yeah.
You're going to have to actually use these hands and the arms and be more active to try and get that club face as square as possible to target.
Okay, well, we've got a situation over here. So we're to the left-hand side of the practice facility, and I do apologise, a bit of noise, but they are doing some serious cutting on the right-hand side. But we've set up a situation, and this bank on the left-hand side of the practice ground is, as you can probably see, is quite extreme and very similar to the situation that we had at Dartmouth when you played that fantastic shot. So just sort of talk us through what's happening in this situation, Lester, with, you know, how does it feel stood up in that position?
I mean, so people are obviously aware, generally, your ball flight will follow the actual sort of severity of the slope. So with the ball being below my feet, I'm above it. So you would expect the ball to actually move from left to right from that shape. There are exceptions if you do catch the sole of the club in a different place on the actual ground, then you might get the odd one that flips over.
Yeah, absolutely.
But generally speaking, rule of thumb is that will go left to right off this slope.
Okay. And when you've got a shot which is a little bit, as in, quieter than this one, do you think you may have worked with the slope a little bit more, like try and fade it off the slope? Is that something?
I mean, it was because of the situation. We only had a limited amount of clubs in our bag.
Yeah.
If I was hitting a fade, there's no way that I could get to that pin. I had 190 yards into a reasonable crosswind but hurting wind.
Yeah.
So I would never have got enough distance with the shot to actually get to the green, and that was my main point. Plus, left was out of bounds or as a hedge, so I didn't really want to start it on the hedge line.
No, you were trying to start it down the right hand side.
Yeah, I started on the safer side and move it.
And obviously, you trying to maximise distance by closing the face down, de-lofting it,
taking a bit of loft on it.
You're getting more ball speed off of it.
Correct, and also when it hits the ground, it should jump a little bit forward, should have less, the flight would be slightly lower, so it'll come in slightly hotter and then run up there.
Flatter descent angle, hopping up, pretty much what it did.
Plus it'll be less affected by the wind because you're controlling trajectory slightly.
Okay, so just set up and play this shot for us, and just tell us what it feels like in this situation right now.
So I'm trying to get a very stable base, so I'm almost bunker-like. I'm trying to sort of not dig my feet in there as such, but just to try and feel like there's more pressure or weight sort of on my heels and my feet.
Okay.
So I'm really sat into the bank,
into the slope,
and you notice my posture as well.
Yeah.
Rather than being over the ball, I'm almost sat back a fraction.
Right, okay.
Okay. So obviously I'm going to aim slightly right of target.
Yeah.
Okay, and sort of leaning into it.
From there.
And then I'm going to try and keep this very, very stable and still, because if I try and turn, I'm probably going to end up moving slightly, maybe towards the ball and shanking it, or even missing it.
So your focus is more about where your arms are, where your hands are, and keeping the lower half really wider stance
as well,
because
I'm not going to.
Okay, but by widening your stance, it'll lower you a little bit.
Lower me slightly as well, but it'll also give me a more stable base. If I was stood there like that, and there's less balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see
it's all about, for a decent strike, it's all about balance for you.
And then I'm just going to really feel like I'm almost rotating that club through.
Yeah.
My right hand's going to the top of my left just after impact to get that club turning through. So I'm going to try and start it sort of at that white flag.
And let it move back.
And then move it back. That's what I'm going to try to do.
Let's see it then. And there it is. Cracking shot again.
Maybe moved a little bit down the slope.
Probably you lost a little bit. Maybe that is a bit more severe than maybe what you had.
It's quite dry, isn't it? So it's a bit slippier.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the.
But you've executed the shot really, really well, and this is not a shot for someone just to turn up and start playing. Is it? This is something that we will have played these types of things in a bit of fun as we were kids, wouldn't we? As a bit of practice.
What we used to do, we used to hit different shapes of shots, and I think if you can learn to hit different shapes of shot on a driving range off a flat lie, when you come to a more severe lie, then you should have an idea of what you want to try to achieve and how you're going to produce that shot.
Love it, absolutely love it. So a fantastic little demonstration from Lester there to show us what he was kind of going through to play that particular shot that he had at Dartmouth. Now, one thing that I learned from a very young age, and watching Nick Faldo was actually the person I listened to in an interview once, said that whenever you're out on a practice round, hit your drive down the middle of the fairway, but now go and put your ball in a position that is not favourable to that perfect drive that you've just hit. So give yourself situations where you've got ball below your feet, ball above your feet, ball downhill, uphill. Try and put yourself in those positions as much as you possibly can. It's only going to help with your own game. For Lester, myself, we've practiced that, we've played it. It's not the easiest shot in the world, but it's certainly something that can only help your game if you can learn how to play it. We'd like to know what you think about that. Do you do anything slightly different? Do you try and work with the slope more? Do you struggle a little bit with stability, and something maybe there you can take away from that as well? I'd like to hear what you have to say in the comments. Don't forget, if you like what you're seeing from these Real Golf videos, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, make sure you comment, and we'll see you all again very soon.